Injuries are very, very scary. It doesn't matter what football team you play for, what football team you watch, what football team you work for. Injuries are one of the biggest threats you will have to continuity in your side, and they can cause you some pretty big worries going throughout a season, especially right now in the international break, where some of your players are having a nice little bit of time off and they're having a chill and they're relaxing, but your other players are off playing 90 minutes again and again and again and being run into the dirt and potentially hurting themselves. And at the end of the day, in this situation, it means that a youngster may have been hit with another significant injury, as Mateo Joseph has been left out of Spain's under-21 side for their match today. Yeah, today. I'll put this video out today. It's fine. So, in the stream, I'm going to run through the potential injury risk that is going on, what the manager said, if it could potentially be something else, what all this means for Leeds United, what to keep an eye on, and ultimately we'll talk about what you guys think. The subscribers, the members, the viewers. And if you're not subscribed, there's a button right down there. Massively appreciated. Anyway, diving into it. There is a potential injury risk with Mateo Joseph. Basically, he played their last match in the under-21s, whatever tournament they're playing in, and he did really, really well. I think, did he score a hat-trick, I think, maybe? And effectively just sort of showed why he's a player that we're happy to start time and time and time again. But then he was left out of the next match, and everyone knows that if you've got a player that's scoring a lot of goals and then you leave them out, odds are they could be potentially injured, and that is very, very dangerous as a position to be in, especially if you're Leeds United and you're currently looking at a situation where, well, James and Solomon have just been injured, and then Ampadu and Gruev are injured, and then Buba also injured, and there's just a long, long, long list of players that are out and not in the side, and that is absolutely not great. But there is an important point to be made, because Spain's manager has also had his say on what has happened with this, because recently they won a match by blowing a team out of the water. It was Kazakhstan, so obviously they managed to beat them. And in today's match, the head coach basically said, yeah, I made 11 changes to the team. We changed absolutely everyone. Mateo Joseph played yesterday, which don't know whether that's yesterday for now or yesterday for 2 days ago, depends on when I'm putting the video out, but apparently he trained and was fit and healthy, so that makes things very, very, very complicated, in my opinion, because that means it could be a whole range of things that are the problem. That could be Mateo Joseph is potentially injured and has a little bit of a knock, or it could be that the Spain side is just resting him, or maybe thinking, maybe we take a look at him for the senior side, because Spain, in terms of number nines, have never been fantastic. They're always leaning a little bit too hard on Alvaro Morata, who isn't that good at what he does. Well, he sort of is, but he's also not. It's very confusing. And then at the same time, there's a widening of the conversation to be had of, well, what job did Leeds United do here? Because Leeds can always have a word with the under-21 squad and say, look, he's going to be playing for us anyway. The point of under-21 side is you are developing the player. He ain't going to develop if we overwork him. So it could be a case of we've worked together with them and said, okay, you can have him for 90 minutes. From that point, we'd really like him to not play the second match, which is a much safer approach of doing things and is something that I would really like to see Leeds United doing, especially when it comes to that young talent that needs to be fit and healthy. And what it means for Leeds United sort of depends on what the situation is. If we're taking everyone at face value and saying, okay, cool, he's not injured, everything should be fine. Brilliant. All good. Not a problem there. That means he'll be all good for the match against Sheffield United, should be fine for Watford, and that's fine. But then there always is the potential risk of, what if it's a knock? What if it's something minor that's keeping him out? What if the Spanish under-21s manager is being a little bit coy about it? Because even though he wasn't in the first 11, not even being in the subs for the second match is very weird. Because a bunch of the players that started last time will have been on the bench for this one, because that's how squads work. You use your entire squad. And that's why I'm a little bit confused by the entire thing. There is some good news for Leeds United, though, because it looks likely that Manor Solomon, Dan James will return. There's no particular word on Max Wuber yet, but that's probably not. But those two wing options coming back will be absolutely huge for us. And it means that over the next few hours, we have a hell of a lot to keep an eye on. For example, I was working in my job for a broadcaster watching Ao Tanaka play for Japan. He just played 90 minutes against Australia. Now has to travel the width of the world to get back for Friday. Similar for Brendan Aronson, who's playing in the US right now. Will fly back and will hopefully have enough time to recover. You can never tell, though, because you need to keep an eye on those other international players, because there's a risk of injury. Whilst I think Tanaka came out of it okay, Australia were playing very much like an international Burnley, very kicky stuff, very rough stuff, because the Japanese team physically, a fairly small group of lads. The Australian side, massive. So they just kicked him a bit. Ended up coming out of it with a 1-1 draw. Australia got what they wanted. Hopefully, we get what we want, which is a fit and healthy Ao Tanaka coming back. But what we ultimately need to keep an eye on is Daniel Farke's press conference tomorrow, because in that we will learn about the Manor Solomon thing. We will learn about Firpo coming back from North America. We'll learn about Aronson coming back from North America, Tanaka coming back from Asia. By that point, none of those players will have returned yet, which is not good, because it looks like if you're playing on Friday, you probably want some footballers back on Wednesday. That's why it scares me a touch. And after Daniel Farke's press conference, I would personally recommend hopping over to Just Joe's channel for his live stream, and then hopping over to this Joe's channel for my live stream, because I like doing a little bit of a chill, chatty live stream shortly after the presses just to discuss absolutely everything. But going into things, I'm a little bit more confident in where the squad is now than I was before the international break, unless any of these players have come back injured, which is, of course, very, very bad. But at the end of the day, as always, that is just what I think. And as always, I kind of want to know what you guys think. As I do sometimes, I'm recording this particular stream whilst on, not stream, I'm recording this particular video whilst I'm on a live stream. So I've got many, 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 many comments that I'm able to hop through. In terms of comments, you can pop your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you particularly like this video. You can even become a channel member. You'll get videos like this one earlier than the vast majority of people, unless you watch the stream as well. Hoo-hoo. Secret way of doing things. By the end of the day, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, become a member, all that fun stuff, and I will see you later. I really like Mateo. He's got a really good choice in names beginning with J. Got a lot of taste, that boy.